Quick little update on the tractor. As you can see, I've finished painting it. So the rebuild, at least all the metal work, is done. Now I've moved on to painting. Now all of these things are fixed. Paint job. I forgot what color this is, but it's some kind of, I use Duralux paint. I'll show you that in a bit. Completely painted. You can see up there on the deck I got a couple rolls of that, which is this EVA foam. I'll put it down on these areas back here, over here, and then up on the front deck, because that is gets really hot. This paint does in the summer. You can see that back here, I've removed all the carpet from the bunks and took all the bunks off, actually. Replaced this cross piece here with new material. And then these are the bunks. They're treated lumber. And I put, see if you can see it. This is like a piece of plastic. It's like it goes on top of the bunk instead of the carpet. So let me show you what that looks like up here. So up here at the front of the boat, this is the outside bunk. It's here, and you can see these pieces that go over the bunks. It's just like little pieces of plastic. They're 3 inches wide, and they're sliders, so the boat's supposed to slip on and off those easier. Certainly lasts a lot longer than carpet. However, now that I did this, I realized that this outside piece here actually had a spacer under here, so I've got to just pull this lag bolt out of there, put a spacer in there so it's up a little higher. Doesn't make much of a difference. So that's that. Then I installed these guys on both sides, which are just some steps that you can use to climb into the boat, because you see back here, I no longer have the fenders on the trailer because all the brackets that were supporting them were broken because people would step on it to try to climb into the boat. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so here's one of the fenders that goes over the wheels, and they're kind of cheap, honestly. They're aluminum, which is nice, but they're just not very heavy duty. And these brackets, this is what bolts to the trailer. You can see I've already replaced this one earlier. I put a piece of aluminum in here because the original piece broke off from the trailer. It's from people standing on it. You know, when it's bolted to the trailer and then someone would stand here or stand there, it would really just basically, break this joint, bends this joint here. And then this is from the other fender, but normally it just had this piece here welded to it like this, and that would just bolt to the side of the boat, and the fender is just bolted to this. So this is just not very strong. I mean, it's plenty strong for the fender, but it's not plenty strong for someone standing on it. So that's why I put those steps on the side to make it easier. And with this bracket here, I've already started, grinding it off and getting it smooth. I think I'm just going to weld this on here. Try to repair this one. Don't know. On the others, before I knew how to weld, I just took this piece of angle here, and just this outside cap that broken off, I just replaced it with this piece of angle like this, and just bolted that angle to the other piece. I don't know, maybe I'll do that again. That actually has worked pretty well. It hasn't broken, so maybe I should just do that rather than trying to re-weld this. I think that's really a great place to try to weld on there. I think that's gonna be pretty weak, at least with my welding skills. So, and also this is pretty thick aluminum. This is 1/4 inch, and trying to weld 1/4 inch is proven pretty difficult with my little welder. It's really only good for about 3/16 to 1/8 inch thick. Trying to get these good penetration with these 1/4 inch pieces might be difficult, but we'll see. I'll get that fixed, and then I've already cut out some new wood that goes on the inside of these. You know, these will just bolt on there, and this acts as like a little bit of a bunk or fender for the boat when it comes in. To the aluminum would hit this instead of the aluminum. The aluminum of the boat would hit, you know, the wood rather than that. This was the old one. It was just completely rotted, and you know, the carpet's just all torn up. So what I have to do is, because this was all rotted, I decided to use treated plywood. So this is treated, but I've got to cover that some way, because I can't put this treated plywood up against this aluminum, because it will corrode like crazy from the whatever chemicals are in that treated. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably just cut some strips of rubber spacer, just a piece of rubber that goes in here. Then I'll bolt that back up there with the rubber between the wood and the aluminum. And on this side, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I don't have any more pieces of those bunk plastic. I guess I could order some more, or I may just put something else to cover this so that this treated piece of wood doesn't touch the aluminum in the fender or the side of the boat, and keep from scratching it too. Anyway, making progress. Got that work to do to finish up the trailer. And then the rest part in the boat is not a whole lot. Again, I'm going to put the EVA foam up here on that back deck. I got to reinstall all the electronics and my LED light bar and all the lights and the bilge pump and all that. And then I got to, of course, re-rig the motor. So to re-rig the motor, I've got to, you know, put the controls back up here, run all the cables and wires, and hook up everything again. Then I got to put the batteries back in. Yeah, there's a decent amount of work left to re-rig this thing, but we'll get going. I'll send you an update later.